Hello everyone, this is Dr. Victoria Skirbo speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Wednesday, August 14th, and the moon is in Aquarius. And today we have a conjunction between the Sun and Venus. It's occurring at 22 degrees of Leo. Let me read 22 degrees of Leo to you all. This is from the Sabian symbol, just to kind of give you a vibe. Now, we do have to remember that this conjunction is also simultaneously in conjunct to Pluto, the planet of power, the planet of transformation in Capricorn, the power structures. And we can see this actually sort of taking place in all over the world, but most especially in China. I'm going to do a reading on what's going on in Hong Kong. It says 22 degrees of Leo, a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission, and the keynote is spirituality in terms of training for service to mankind. This symbol refers to spiritual energies which are being used constructively and which bring energies, which bring to the consciousness messages from other realms. Individual realizations acquire their true meaning only as they fulfill a collective function. And it says here the key words, right? The key word is world server. So keep in mind at this time on the planet that we are all sort of doing our job. We're doing our what we've come here to do. We are at a time when we are witnessing a great change, and it does not mean that just because things haven't succeeded in the past that they won't succeed now. It doesn't mean that because things have succeeded in the past that they'll succeed now. We're really in a whole new paradigm, and part of the process is for us to be bearing witness to this. Some people are here to make a sacrifice. Other people are here to watch and listen and keep their heart and eyes open. So let's look at what's going on in Hong Kong. Let's look at what's going on in China at this time. And there's quite a number of things that have occurred that I have been actually too busy to do readings on. So I'm going to try to catch up, but no promises. Because life goes on and things come up, and I am expecting a few things to come up today as well. But let's see. So this is a reading on China, what's going on in China with the protests at the Hong Kong airport as the people of China or the people of Hong Kong attempt to stay autonomous. All right, let's see. I was around. I was alive for Tiananmen Square, and it was a sad day. Sad day. And of course, the president at the time, George H.W. Bush, just pretty much made it worse. So I'm not expecting much from President Trump. In fact, I think he pretty much said, go ahead, do what you want to do. You know, I don't care. He's friends with Ping, I guess, or enemies, frenemies, who the fuck knows. I said the F-bomb again. Hopefully nobody notices that. Okay. Whoops. Okay, and we start with the King of Pentacles. And so this really is a financial issue up front, and this is a king who is concerned with financial matters. So this, I would say, this is China. This is mainland China. Let's see what's crossing it. We have the Queen of Wands crossing it. So this is more of a feminine energy. It has more to do with creativity and freedom and the ability to self-express. This card is associated with the sign of Leo. And this card is associated with the sign of Capricorn. And what's interesting is that Pluto in Capricorn is in conjunct Venus and the Sun in Leo. And so we have this energy. And so that aspect that's exact today is being seen in the Chinese situation. And this is an aspect where we have a crisis in, it's a crisis producing aspect. And we're dealing with leadership and power and the adjustments that need to happen between those two issues. Let's see what's at the root of this. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups is somebody who's very idealistic. So at the root of these, oh my God, I'm so sorry. The root of these protests is an idealism. Now, this Knight of Cups does deal with the sense of a promise, a covenant, as it were. The cup is the Holy Grail, really. And so this is an idealistic expression of the covenant that was made between China and Hong Kong, right? And they're holding it up and saying, this is what you said you would do. This is our ideal. Let's see what's in the past. Okay, so in the past we have some dirty tricks. This is the Five of Swords. And there were probably actions taken, and I have to admit I don't know that much about the policies or the politics of China and Hong Kong. So I'm doing this strictly from my intuitive interpretation of the cards. This is really about many opportunities where, or many situations where China was chipping away at the autonomy of Hong Kong. And now this is the sword. They have decided to take the sword. They have decided to stop being either patient or hopeful, and the sword is being taken up. And what's interesting is the sword is being taken up in this card by the youth. There's a young man taking up the sword. It's like, obviously this old guy is too preoccupied with begging or praying here that he's not taking up the sword of justice. And so the youth take it up. Let's see what's in the sky. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands, another knight. It's very interesting, all the people in this. It's called the People's Republic, right? Anyway. This is about journeying, being on a quest. This is being on a quest in which you're inspired. There's an inspirational quality to this card. And on a certain level, the staff or the staff represents life. We have it's a staff with oak leaves on it. The oak leaves are green and alive. And so this is the energy is an energy, or it's in the sky, is the energy of seeking out a better life, right? Going on a quest to it's like a spiritual quest. And again, the knights are generally young and less experienced, say, than the king and the queen, right? But not as inexperienced as the page. Let's see the immediate future. Okay, So this is very interesting. This is the Ten of Swords. And I chose this deck for no reason, but it was sitting in front of me. And this is the only deck where the Ten of Swords is a pretty positive card. And we can see that there's a woman standing here. She almost looks Asian, right? She has kind of like an Asian dress on. And the swords are all pointing away from her. And she has this aura around her. And so, as I said when I first started this reading, we can't expect what has happened in the past to happen again. That's Tiananmen Square, right? We can't expect what hasn't happened in the past not to happen, which would be a more democratic, freer China. So it's very interesting that this card would come up. I feel from this card that there's spiritual protection around this. I feel like where perhaps the Chinese can't get it from other countries, say the United States or Britain or whatever countries would be, or the EU, which would be amenable to amenable to the rights of those Chinese folk in Hong Kong, that there is divine intervention somehow with this. And it could simply be the divine intervention or the consciousness of the people of the planet who are aware of what's going on and sending positive energy. It sounds very pie in the sky, but I don't know. That's what the card says to me. So I'm going by the cards, folks. How this is seen from the outside. Okay, we have the Three of Cups reversed. And so people are saddened by this. People see it as a broken promise to the people of Hong Kong. Let's see the domestic situation. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords, which generally is, I'm going to read it this way and then I'm going to tell you it's the opposite of that. So here we have these people playing instruments. This card always reminds me of the musicians that played on the Titanic. They're like, well, let's play till the end because they knew it was over anyway. But I feel as though there's still an opportunity for some sort of truce, some sort of diplomacy here. I don't think that this has to go full-born oppressive regime. Now, this is upside down, and we still have these two swords here in the cloud, and so we're not out of the woods here. There's still a chance of conflict, but I do believe that we have the capacity as people who are, in a way, not directly experiencing this because we're not in Hong Kong and we're not in the airport with these protesters, but as people observing what's going on, we have a power to energetically make a difference. Hopes and fears. We have the High Priestess. This is hidden things, and it could be a hope or a fear. It sort of depends. But that things will be hidden from us. China is a communist regime. It is very oppressive. There is no such thing as free press, right? They're doing all kinds of stuff. They're putting Muslims in concentration camps and killing them. Nobody's saying anything about that. China's always been sort of a mystery, and the High Priestess is a mystery card. And so perhaps it's a fear that we're never really going to find out what happened here. Let's see the outcome. Oh, wow. So we have the Empress as the outcome. Very interesting. The Empress is a feminine card. The leader of China is not a man. It's not a woman. It's a man. It's not the empress. And so this feels like the feminine is here. The energy of Venus. This Venus is the outcome here, as opposed to maybe Capricorn, which would have been the devil card. So the outcome is Venus. So there is a sense of a positive outcome here, and a more a sense of sharing sharing the plenty. Okay, let's see what's underneath it all. Okay, we have the King of Wands here. Underneath, I wonder what sign Ping is. Right, that's his name. Z Ping. Sorry. Quite frankly, I think if they were allow Hong Kong to be more or continue to agree to the initial promise, I think it would actually be much more successful for the regime in China, which, of course, I don't know how the regime feels about that, but having the King of Wands underneath, I don't know, maybe he does know that. All right, well, it's very interesting. I didn't expect these cards. I thought these cards were going to be a lot darker. So it looks as though we can understand the dynamic of why it's happening. But it does look like there is divine protection here. And it does look like if we sort of come together as a community of the world and send positive energy in that direction, we can actually mitigate some of the more challenging things that could possibly happen. So what I would say to all of you is, take a moment in your day. It'll only take a moment, because once you turn the energy on, the energy's on, is to send love and light to Hong Kong, to the situation. Surround the protesters and the people and the police who must go up against these protesters. Surround them with the white light, because that's what these cards are suggesting that we do. And that will mitigate some of this turmoil. We don't have to have it. That's the thing. And things don't have to be the way they've always been. We can change it. We can shift it. We have the capacity and the power if we access it. And it has to come from a place of true care and concern for our fellow human beings, not just because it's going to make it easier for us or better for us financially or whatever, but as a way to bring harmony into a situation that would be better served by harmony. Okay, that's what the cards say. Have a great day, like and subscribe, and I'll see how many other readings I can get out today. Take care. Bye.